seeing a therapist traumatizing. Traumatizing as in me breaking something and my mom telling me she'd beat me but not immediately, so I have to spend the rest of the day watching over my shoulder just to get sneak on while I sleep with her most dreadful weapon. Before I kick off with this video, I'm not in any way generalizing my experience to all African kids. This is strictly just for entertainment and educational purposes. Alright then, let's lock in. I'm the second child of 5 in a very happy Nigerian family. Most of the time. Growing up, my parents were very two different people. My mom is super religious, strict, and the CEO of Whooping Egg. But she's the kindest person in the entire neighborhood, and we hated that. Always giving away our food and shit. What did you say? Nothing. My dad, on the other hand, is a chill, funny, but also strict man. Religious, but ratchet. That being said, he beat your ass with the Bible if you guys not watching. My dad didn't whoop us much. In fact, in my entire childhood, I think he only whooped me like 5 times. But those 5 times were epic. I'm talking Omni-Man versus Invincible epic. Bottom line is, I was whooped a lot when I was growing up. And it's one of the most traumatizing experiences. Not traumatizing as in seeing a therapist traumatizing. Traumatizing as in me breaking something and my mom telling me she'd beat me but not immediately, so I have to spend the rest of the day watching over my shoulder just to get sneak on while I sleep with her most dreadful weapon and get whooped. And that's not the only time or reason you can get whooped to. Trying to defend yourself in a situation can be interpreted as, so now you're talking back at me, eh? No, I was just obeying. So you don't have anything to say. What I'm saying is rubbish, Abi. In a typical African household, whooping is never a strange phenomenon. In fact, Africa as a society encourages whooping. It is usually backed up with a famous Bible verse, spare the rod and spoil the child. There are cases where these whoopings went out of hand, of course. Personally, I wouldn't whoop my kids. Too much. Just a little for nostalgia and keeping the ancestors happy. Now, I don't know if this was just my dad, but one of the things I had to learn while growing up was Furtherese, which was the language my father spoke in. You see, my dad's a funny guy and serious at the same time. He communicates and gives you warning in sarcasm. So boom, when I wanted to go to college, my father sat me down to give me the good old fatherly advice. So you're about to go to university. As you're going now, the moment you enter the school gate, to go and find court and gangs to join, Merely you enter, just tell them, hey, I'm here, who wants a new member, Daddy, it's true now. As you come from a very rich home where your dad planted money in his backyard, you'll be the one feeding people's children in school. But Dad, am I lying? Any girl that calls you fine boy now, just leave your books, leave your future and follow her. Yes, now your father is a rich man in a company that will give you a job immediately you graduate. In normal English for your normal folks, this just means you know where you're coming from and your family don't got it like that. Avoid gangs, don't spend your little money lavishly, and avoid female distractions. Yeah. He could have just said that.
Hallelujah. Come on.
I can't talk about an African household without talking about religion. There are 2 top religions in Africa, Christianity or Islam. I came from a Christian home, and as a kid, you're brought up in the fear of God. So God forbid you don't feel like going to church on a Sunday. What did you say? And I kid you not, one of my earliest birthday gifts since I was conscious of myself as a person was a Bible. I mean, it's not like I didn't want a bike, but you can get everything that you like. So you better shut your mouth and stick with Christ. You know, I just wanted to have a little fun with that. Career choices. This one hits home for me, and it's really, really personal. Growing up in an African household also means there are few career choices that you can pursue. You're either a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. And right when you're born, your parents have already decided what they want you to study and be in life. It's like that scene in The Lion King, except this time they rub the oil on your head and say, engineer. So if you wanted to be something different, maybe rapping, singing, and art, you're gonna have to shove that down your ass. I mean, I understand them. To an extent, there are chances you might not blow up in the path that you chose, and you're used to stable and fixed income at the end of the month, so they want their kids to get a stable and fixed job. I mean, it's quite reasonable, but let me do my own thing. So yeah, being brought up in an African household wasn't the worst thing in the world. I grew up to be very respectful, and that has made a lot of good things go in my favor in life. Now, I'm not saying that is the ideal way to raise a kid, but you gotta understand that's how they were raised and that's how their parents were raised. And now I know better, and my kid will know better. So, if you've ever gotten whooped for something dumb, comment below. Let's have fun in the comment section. And if you've made it this far without subscribing, your parents raised you better than that. Click the button before I call my mom. Oh, you still don't want to click it? Mom!